Hello, knockouts. Tonya TKO here. And are you ready for some tea, children? On Facebook, I told you all that I had something for you. I may not have some tea, honey, but I got some refreshing water. So listen to what I found. So thank you to Amara Diallo for sharing this in the Natural Hair Group on Facebook, because I came across this early in the AM and I had to read it to you all. So for all of you out there who were speculating about the true weight of what 8 years of splitting her body in two to birth out some grown man has done to her. Listen to this, boys and girls, listen. All right. So someone writes, his wife was at a women's retreat I went to in April. Her pain and the tears she cried as the pastors prayed over her. She was the guest speaker, mind you. Says she don't want to quote unquote cover him, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. Listen on, boys and girls. She's exhausted and she's tired and wants her own voice. As a matter of fact, the title of her sermon was Rest. And she could barely get through it as the words she wrote to give us was hitting her harder. We ended up praying over her in the end. Lord have mercy. She didn't went to a women's retreat as a guest speaker, and the doggone participants had to pray over her. The woman goes on. If that happened, why is he up here telling this story? I don't know. Maybe that's somebody else who asked that. Okay. I don't know. Maybe he don't know how she feel. He wasn't there. I remember one of the pastors specifically saying, may God let her voice be heard. And she stands in front of behind her husband. And then that's the end of the thing. All right, what are your thoughts on this? You know, you know what? I want to read something else for you all. Let me read something else for you all. Let me, because I was scrolling through the internet last night and I found this on Instagram as I was keeping up with this story. There's a woman who writes for Black Marriage Movement who wrote, I dream of being this type of wife to a husband, but every day I wonder if the men among us realize women of this heart exist, ... And this is the travesty. You know, there are people who've been writing to me, writing on the post. Continue to write. I'm still reading them. Connect. Let's have a discussion about this. I mentioned in my last video that when two grown men are having a conflict, that the woman, I asked you all what it is that the woman is supposed to do. And in my opinion, the woman falls back and she lets the men handle it. Right? Because men have a way of handling conflict that is different than the way women handle conflict. And this is why we have to allow grown men to be grown men, allow strong men to be strong men. But if you don't have a figure of what a strong man looks like, how a strong man behaves, and you have to be mother to your husband and come out there defending your son, right? This is the type of thing that happens. So we have this perpetual cycle where we have many, many women looking out there to build a bum. This woman is hoping and praying that she can be used in this way. And you know what? When we talk about religion, religion plays a lot into this because, first of all, you guys know that I am a certified clinical hypnotherapist. And so I know about the power of repetition, and I know about the power of conditioning the mind. And in religion, there's a lot of words and verbiage that's given to the people. Like, first of all, forgetting about what's happening to you today, enduring pain today for some promised land and some heaven that exists in the future. Also, use me. Dear Lord, use me. May I be a vessel for whatever it is that you want to do unto me. I am not worthy of your graces. Please let me be worthy. And so we have people who are going into the church saying these things over and over, being conditioned into their mind that the woman's place is as a man's rib. They done got people convinced that man birthed woman and not woman birthed man, that it was God who had, and it's like all of these different messaging referring to God as a male, having the imagery then attached to that of that male being some white male in the sky. And so all of these different things, all of these words, the culmination of the teaching and the words and the doctrine and the conditioning and the subconscious mental programming leave us where it is that we are today. Where there are women who are like, use me, I am not worthy. Let me be worthy unto you, O man. Take me and do with me as you will. Empty me and then rebuild me again. So that we have women who are out there wanting to give of themselves. See, there's so much. God, I could talk for an hour and a half about this. I guess this is part of the reason that I'm doing the women's retreat next year. So look below for information. But nonetheless, we have all of this stuff perpetuating around in men and women's head. Like I had one man who was commenting back to me talking about if she did have a dream, it's her job to make sure that her dream is her number one priority. If she lets somebody just get in front of this, that, and the other, then he goes on to try to attack me, talking about that's why I bet you ain't have no man and all this, that, and the other. And I'm like, which one is it? Does the woman have the autonomy to be able to put her dream forward first? Or is she still held back underneath the doctrine of how you better keep a man, how you stand that? Meanwhile, it's the flip side. It's the flip side. Men's lives enhance when they attach themselves to women. In this day and age, and this is what I was talking about. This is what I was alluding to in that video that I did with the clapback on Derek Jackson. Okay, so we have a couple coming out where this woman is beat down and downtrodden, where she's pretending to be all of these things in the public eye, but behind closed doors, even not even in behind closed doors, and even at a woman's retreat, the woman couldn't even hold her composure together. The feminine is meant to be rested. The masculine is active. When a woman depletes her feminine energy, feeding and building up that into a man, where does that leave her? This is part of the reason that women are hypergamous. So that a woman attaches herself to a man who is able to afford the comforts of her being able to rest, so that she can then pour her feminine energy out onto her family. And so one of the things that I'm talking about with this video with Derek Jackson is that here we have a woman who is so elevated in her own masculine energy that she doesn't have the time to be feminine. Who is there to defend her honor? Who is there to help build her up? Who is there to repair the damage and the tatteredness that is going on? And we have people touting this as if this is the way that it's supposed to be. And I'm like, no. Women help men live longer. Women help men be healthier. Women assist men. And there's nothing wrong with building up your mate. Building with your mate. But if your mate becomes your child, where you are raising this person, when do you ever have the chance to be a woman? To replenish your feminine energy instead of depleting it outward? So do we have this woman breaking down at seminars and conferences, not able to hold herself up? This is, oh gosh, I really want your thoughts below, because there's so many things that I can say about this. You know what? I'll make another video going forward and let this be an ongoing discussion. Because it's like they had the opportunity to turn this into a discussion. But instead of John Gray stepping up and being the strong patriarch, he allowed his wife to then get up there with finger wagging, full masculine glory. I'm like, okay, this is part of the reason that Black women are so... Let a Black woman rest. We haven't rested for 400 years. Let a Black woman rest. God. It's like she has to defend house, home, and country with no help or assistance. God, help me. Write your comments below. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Now listen, subscribe to my videos, share, talk, and let's create the discussion, because apparently their hit dog is hollering and they don't have the capacity to create a discussion. So let's have a discussion here. Obviously, something is not right if you're breaking down in public. Tonya TKO, and I'm out. Peace.